The knock sensors are a really common problem on these GM 6 liters. This is the code I'm getting, P0332, knock sensor circuit low. Now on these trucks, the knock sensors are actually located under the intake manifold. But luckily, it isn't that difficult of a job. Let me show you what I'm going to use to do it. This should be everything that we need. Intake gasket set. This is the knock sensor wiring harness. You want to change this harness when you replace the knock sensors. Quick disconnects to remove the intake manifold. And then you want to buy GM original knock sensors. If you put in aftermarket ones, all I've ever read is that you will have problems with them. So just buy the GMs. They're not that much more expensive. Remove the intake. First thing I'm going to do is take off the air inlet and this beauty cover. This cover wasn't even bolted down, so I'm going to just take it off there. Take the boot off, and then the whole thing just removed. You got some things you need to unclip, like this fuel pressure, whatever fuel sensor this is, and this little mass airflow thing. Just push down on that tab. This will come out, and then you can push this tab and remove the clip. Set it in too hard. Just push down here. This little thing will disconnect. I'll just set it over here, and then I can unplug the throttle body like so. Also gonna unclip this fuel or whatever this thing is. These fuel injector connectors are kind of weird. You got to pull this up. There's a little tab. You got to kind of push on it while you're pulling this thing up. I'll show you how this connector works. So when it's installed, it'll look just like this. You have to pull back on this collar, like so. You have to push slightly in on this tab, and then it'll pass this other. Press this while you're removing this little clip, and it'll go like that. And then you can push this tab in and remove the injector connector. It's pretty weird. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Remove 3 bolts from this cover. They're just 10 millimeters, no big deal. And then there's a little clip here. See the metal clip? Slide it rear toward the front of the vehicle. Disconnect that. Unplug your map sensor or whatever that is back there. Remove this nut, and then you can kind of free this whole harness. It will be in your way no matter what you do. Okay, now to remove this, you have to kind of lightly push this in while you wiggle up on the connector, and then it will come right off. There's a safety clip on this fuel line. Pry here with a screwdriver, and then just remove it. I had loosened it up prior, but not too bad. Just set that somewhere you won't lose it. Now you want to take the fuel line loose, get the 3/8 inch tool, and you're going to slide it on there while pulling this fuel line off. Just like that. Real easy. Let that leak gas over the exhaust. That's good. If you're not removing the throttle body, you'll have to remove 1 and 2 hoses. They got little squeeze clamps. Here's the other one propped up. There is antifreeze in there, so be careful. You're going to want to remove the 10 bolts to hold the manifold on. It's an 8 millimeter. I can't get to all of these with the impact, but I'll do as many as I can. Now that you've gotten all the bolts out, there's one back here on the driver's side that's difficult to see. Make sure you get that one, because I was missing it. Now you're going to just kind of slowly work this thing out of here, which can be kind of difficult. You've got to work with the harness here. Nice tire intake. Not too bad of a job, actually. Now look at all this stuff under there. I'm going to vacuum all this up, then we'll get to working on those knock sensors. I think you can see what our problem was. Those connectors were barely on there. Now, when you do this, make sure you vacuum out in this hole before you remove this sensor, otherwise all that crap's going down in there. So this connector right here, just unclip this, take this whole thing and throw it in the trash. I've wiped everything down with some brake cleaner and a rag. I gotten it pretty good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and remove these two sensors, put the two new ones in there. These were just, I mean, they were so loose you can't even believe it. I'm very lucky with that. So just remove the knock sensor like so. There it is, looking pretty good. These were both the same way. They were so loose, you could almost just take them off with your hand. Just like that. Just like that. Now I'm gonna vacuum these holes out again, make sure I get everything out, and then I'll put the new sensors in. New GM knock sensors, assembled in Mexico. I put some anti-seize on the thread, so I'm gonna tighten these down. The torque spec supposedly is 15 foot-pounds, which sounds about right. New knock sensor. Thread it down until it's hand tight. And I got it tightened to 15 foot-pounds. Let's see if I can get this one. I might need an extension. There it is, 15 foot-pounds each. Okay, now that I've gotten this all cleaned up with brake cleaner again, I'm gonna silicone this really readily. Put some silicone on the top as well. And that way this won't get water in it, cause the sensor to fail again. I'll start this. You're working. So what I do, just go ahead and test myself around these holes. A little bit around there. Well, pop it down there. That, put it around with the hand. Neck around the hand, it's looking in the push it down, down there, all the way. Okay, push down there really firmly, we'll have to eject. No, I push it in further. So it's looking around it. No, okay, we'll actually look around this wire as well. Okay, you can go back. Okay, now I'm gonna remove the old gaskets from here. Got little clips that retain them. It's kind of cool. I'm just gonna make sure all these ports are clean. So these new gaskets have two tabs that they rest on. And when you install them, you have to kind of push them into place, as you can see, on each side, like that. And then they will, just gotta make sure they're all the way down. There we go. So that's how you do them. Already done this side. And now, I think we're ready to put the intake manifold back on. Intake's ready. Got everything cleaned up. Now I get the fun part, which is reinstalling. So this line goes through here. Try not to break it. If I break it, it's not a fun thing. Okay, there we go. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad, I guess. I had removed the bolts, and I'm just going to put those back in here, which isn't too difficult. So it's dark out now. I had to go get the inch-pound torque wrench from my dad. I didn't have one. So I just plugged all the connectors in, put this plate back on, hooked everything back up, airbox went back on. Now we're going to torque down the intake. So here is the torque sequence. So we're now set at 89 inch-pounds. Everything is together. Now let's give it a try and see if it'll start. No fuel leaks. I think we're good. Codes are all gone, drives fine. So I think that was worth the time. It only took a couple hours to do it. Those knock sensors are real easy to change. Yeah, you have to take the intake off, but I mean, it only takes a couple hours. Not bad at all. I'm really liking working on these newer vehicles with OBD2. It's kind of easy. There'll be plenty more videos coming on this truck. I'm really liking working on it. It's real easy, real simple. It's real fun too. Anyway, see you in the next video. Thanks.